Hello! A warning, this video is unscripted. So today is May 31st, 2020. This is my 23rd birthday, but it's also the 1-year anniversary of Let's Talk About Payday 2. That video hit 500,000 views very recently, and I sincerely cannot thank you enough. Everything from former developers to big-name YouTube people to even just folks like you have watched the video, and it's been great, sincerely. I haven't made a 90-minute video since. I haven't made something that long and scripted. I had plans this past Christmas to do like a 20-minute-ish, more like skit-like, short film-ish video. Didn't happen. I was like, well, I'll do it for the 10-year anniversary of the channel. Didn't happen. I was like, well, I'll do it for May 31st. Pandemic. So, I don't know. I still want to do it, but it's going to be a while, I think. I don't even know if I can even safely say this Christmas. I learned a lot in the past year. And part of that was, I think I've made the right decision. A lot of people who, used to watch the Payday stuff get mad because the Payday stuff got more views. So my subscriber count would go up. But that was a game that was spinning its wheels in 2015, and it spent 5 more years doing that. It was never really as popular as it was, like, right in that moment. Again. Even though, the viewer counts went up, the number of people who actually owned a copy of the game and were playing was diminishing. And now a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of its player base still stands. I don't think the channel would have been doing as well if I continued to cover that game. And I really feel like Let's Talk About Payday 2 really kind of counteracted that. That video has 500,000 views, and now I can make what I want to make, as opposed to like 5,000, 10,000 views of video consistently forever, but it's the same 5,000, 10,000 people. I also just didn't have anything to talk about, so when Crime Fest came around, I'm like, the game's over. I was like, perfect. I already talked about all this. This is in the 15K Q&A. Or you can watch the whole playlist of every time I said I was going to be done covering Payday. It's a playlist. The last time I checked the math to watch every video in it, it's like 16 hours. So I think I've given people enough warning. But I wanted to do kind of a more general update video because there are some things I am working on. First of all, I graduated. I will be graduating in June. I'll have a couple summer classes, but my time at my university is over. Student loans and finding a job. Scary, especially during a pandemic. So that one, don't know. Will I be able to continue doing videos? Will I have to cut down to 1 video a week? Will I have to just stop doing things on the channel for a short while? No idea. And it scares me. Secondly, specifically covering the VR content that's coming to the channel already, H3 VR, and there's been talk of doing some other stuff. That is the loudest goddamn motorcycle I've ever heard. But specifically covering the VR content, I think sometime this summer, unless if you work for a company that gives out VR headsets to people, you're a PR company that does that sort of stuff, get in contact. Otherwise, I'll probably the headset I'm probably looking to get will be the Rift S. I think, and I had a really good talk, the Valve Index, just with the space I'm working with and monetarily, it's such a steep investment that would then have to lead into more steep investments. Whereas the Rift S is literally plug and play, and that's it. And that, is my Memorial Day paycheck, essentially. That's 1, 2 at most. So I don't know when I'll pull the trigger and get that, but that would probably be sometime this summer, early fall, July, August, September maybe. I don't know about right away. And I know people are going to mention the HP's got a new headset that's inside-out tracking, touch-like controllers, but it's got the Index's speakers. If it has the Index's microphone, I'll keep that in mind. Otherwise, the microphone's really the big thing that I'm interested in. The Index's microphone is super clear, its tracking is gorgeous, the controllers are supposedly some of the best on the market. It sounds like a great deal, but it doesn't sound like $1,000 deal versus what I could spend for the Rift S, which is something I'm kind of used to some degree. And then I was also looking at the Pimax headset, the 5K Plus, which is their bottom of the barrel one, but it's still super wide FOV versus the Index. And it's the Index controllers, the Index base stations, Half-Life Alyx. $1,200. Definitely a no from me, Chief. So I don't know. If you're interested in keeping this conversation going, please let me know, and we'll keep this conversation going. Also, if you work for one of those companies that's just got some indexes sitting in the back to give out for publicity, and I just have to say this video is sponsored by blank blank blank, I will do that. Unironically, there'll be a little bit of irony, but not a sardonic degree. There we go. One other thing I want to talk about is a video that I've been working on for years. I talked about this on Twitter a few days ago, but essentially the full context is I was in a class in 2017 taught by someone just super interested in game design. She's done a lot of deep, meaningful games, and we kind of broke down what makes a deep, meaningful. The instructor, it was about game design, deep games. She's made a bunch of games mental health and drug addiction. But we were talking about thematic and gestalt elements of game design, how they all kind of build a single cohesive narrative in your game, and a good game kind of focuses on all of them. And it really got me thinking kind of critically and analytically about games in a way that I hadn't before. And I wanted to use that to kind of figure out why I didn't enjoy Fallout 4 all that much. And then Fallout 76 got announced, and I was very cautiously optimistic, and then they were like, it's multiplayer. And I started the script. This was 2017. I had started working on this video. And it's gone through 4 or 5 drafts since. And I've probably cut about 30 minutes worth of stuff I had written down. Wasn't happy with, deleted entire scripts that I kind of just threw out. But I think I'm getting somewhere, at long last. And the big thing that's been holding it back is, funny enough, scholarly articles. You can't really find any good scholarly sources on, say, the American exceptionalism or the imperialism within Fallout. You really can't find much in the way of scholarly articles written about video games, period. At least not the same way you can find scholarly articles about books, movies, TV. You want, a cited, sourced, eloquently written, 10-page document about Batman, you can find it. You want even half that length for Fallout, you can't find it. And, what I had found is very dubious. Having to, research back as far as I can for a bunch of stuff doesn't lead to a lot of good information, a lot of dead ends. You find, something that claims that, Fallout 3 was trying to be this or that. And you research back and you only maybe get 1 or 2 steps. And it's just a developer implying something about the game's development, and that doesn't tell you anything about, the series. But I think I finally found a foothold to start working on the script again, seriously, and having stuff get done. You okay? She looks concerned. Jesus! But I've got about 10 minutes worth of script, and I'm still in just context. I'm still just talking about Fallout 2 on just a plot level. And there is some thematic elements, and I do touch very, very briefly on gestalts, but I haven't really deep dove into anything yet in the script. I know that's going to be the hardest part, but I think I know how I want to approach this now. And this script that's spent 3 years on a back burner will finally kind of get moved up to the front and worked on. And in my head, I want it out, I think October 23rd or October 27th. I want it the day Fallout happens, but this year. And I feel like at long last, the video has a purpose, it has a point, it has a central argument. So I'm looking forward to writing that. In my head, it's probably between 35 and 60 minutes at the very, very most. Probably closer to 40, 50-ish. But it should happen. And I'll let people know how progress on that is coming along. Back in January or February, we talked about... I talked about on Twitter, and there's some bits and pieces in the GTA series that I did with Steve about retiring the channel Source Code. It was a cooperative channel we've been running since high school. And while videos kind of were in their prime, 2013 to 2016, it was the most content coming out. I think there were 3 videos a week. And there was some stuff in 2017. At this point, we all feel like the channel is kind of redundant. It didn't hit 100 subscribers. Most of its content was just kind of there. There's some good stuff on the channel, and I have made I made a compilation for the year of 2018, and I've used some of the edits from there and other clips because I really liked some of the editing work I did on Source Code. Some of the gags on that channel are some of my favorites I've edited. But at this point, I'm running a channel with, unironically, 150 times that subscriber count. And that sounds insane to say it out loud. But we feel like Source Code should just be a side activity on a channel. It shouldn't be its own channel anymore. That's all we've got still. We talked about this in February, and then everything kind of just exploded. So, that's that. Hopefully this summer we can talk more about that, and hopefully you guys will get to see something new on this channel too. But until then, I just wanted to mention that still exists. We still do talk about it. It's just... There are things of a higher priority happening right now, so, Lastly, I also mentioned a while back on Twitter about a tabletop RPG source book. I think in that I mentioned something think Half-Life. Like the player characters are human, the weaponry's modern, but the things they fight don't need to be. Still, that's still just a concept. If anything legitimately does start coming of that, and it's more than just a concept, then I'll let you know. But until then, it's just a little packet of thought yeast poured into a frothy wheat slurry. It's not bread yet. It has the potential to become bread, but it's not bread yet. That'll kind of do it. That's all the real, actual updates I have. But that'll do it. I want to thank you sincerely, though. The channel is 10 years old. It's got way more subscribers than I ever thought it would. There are so many videos on this channel that have way more views than I ever thought the whole channel period would have. You know, a video has 500,000 views, and I did a milestone video when the channel hit 1 million views. So, you know, unbelievable. Still awe-inspiring numbers. I want to thank you sincerely. Everybody who's watched, everybody who, you know, follows me on Twitter, or Wattpad, or people who still remember me from Flipnote. Hi, Philip. But if you've been watching at all, thank you. It does truly mean a lot to me that, you know, what started as just kind of weird, dumb, hobbyist me at the age of 12, like, is now all of this. It feels unbelievable. Alright. I have to, you know, stop the update video because I will cry thinking about just, like, how far things have come. Thank you sincerely for watching. Let's see what this whole year has to offer. And hopefully we'll be right back here next May 31st to talk about it again. Thank you. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Patreon and social media links are in the description.